What's up everyone, and today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Magikey. Now, Magikey is a very interesting deck. It's actually probably I think it was the first deck to make ritual monsters that were also tuners, fusions that were also tuners, stuff like that. And I figured I'd do a deck profile on it, so without further ado, let's get right into it. I think this was kind of around the time frame where they wanted to make like normal monster archetypes like Sue Ships and Sun Avalon, which I wish they'd make more, just because they're pretty awesome. So first I run the 3 Sky Blaster, it's a vanilla monster. This is like the main monster because the whole archetype mostly revolves around using this card. I also run the 1 Magikey Avram. As far as Avram, this one's easily swappable. You mainly just need another level 4 vanilla monster that's not dark, so it could be Megalosaurus, it could be the Shoe Ship vanilla. As long as it's a level 4 vanilla and not dark, that's all you really want. Although having a 2000 attack is also pretty helpful too. Rarely comes up, but you definitely want to have at least another level 4 normal monster outside of the Sky Blaster. I run 3 Maftail. Maftail is really cool. If you control a Magikey monster, you can reveal this card in your hand, and you can normal summon 1 Magikey monster during your main phase in addition to your normal summon set. So it basically becomes a normal summon, it becomes a double summon if you have a Magikey monster on the field. Additionally, when it's normal summon, you can target a level 4 lower normal monster or level 4 lower Magikey monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. So you can summon the Avram, you can summon, you can honestly summon the level 4 Ritual Beto Buster if you successfully summoned it, of course. Speaking of, I run 3 copies of the Beto Buster. Beto Buster is really cool. You don't really, it's kind of like, it's not really like your end board, but it's good at getting to it. If it's a ritual summon with a Magikey Maftail, or if it's ritual summoned, you can add 1 Magikey card from your deck to your hand. So it's definitely really good. So let's say we want to go into this one and the level 8 ritual. You can ritual into the Beto Buster, then use the effect of Beto Buster to add the level 8 synchro, or not, the level 8 ritual monster, or maybe Maftia, depending on what your hand is at. We do run 1 Garruglaster. Garruglaster is one of the boss monsters of the deck, although this deck has like many boss monsters and they all kind of do similar things to each other. Basically, depending on what attribute your opponent has and what attributes you have in the graveyard, they can like negate, remove, and do all sorts of stuff like that if they're matching attributes. Considering we got dark, light, earth, like we got a lot of different attributes. I think we have every attribute in this deck, because one of the fusions is the wind, one of the expertise is the water, the synchros is fire. So if you can get like all that into the graveyard, you can basically disrupt anything. And especially when it comes down to the synchro, that becomes really good. So Garruglaster specifically, once per turn when your opponent activates an effect monster with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard, if at least 2 attributes of monsters were used for this card's ritual summoned, quick effect, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. And if this ritual summon card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Magikey monster from your deck to your hand. So that effect to like negate and destroy. A lot of the Magikey boss monsters have similar effects that kind of do around the same thing. So having different attributes in your graveyard is definitely going to help this deck out a lot. Also run 3 Ash. 3 Effect Veiler. The Veiler can be swapped out for a multitude of things. If you want to go Droll or Nibiru or something like that, that's also an option. Moving on to the spells, I run 3 copies of the field spell, Magikey World. When this card is activated, you can add Magikey Maftia from your deck to your hand, which is definitely really good because Magikey Maftia is sort of like your fusion and ritual summon card all at one. And it's also got an additional effect. This is during the main phase. You can add 1 Magikey Maftia, or I got that backwards actually. During the main phase, you can add the Magikey Maftia, and when it's activated, you can add a Magikey monster from your deck to your hand. So this is a good way to get the Garruglaster if you need it, or the Beto Buster. Also run the 1 Terraforming, You definitely want to have access to your field spell, because it gets you into your Magikey Mafia, which is you definitely need. So like I said before, with this you can fusion summon Magikey Fusion Monster, or ritual summon Magikey Ritual Monster from your hand by retrieving monsters from hand or field. And if you control a normal monster, you can also send normal monsters from your deck to the graveyard as material or tribute. So having the Sky Blaster on the field really allows you to get the most out of it. Like for example, let's say you want to summon Beto Buster, you can just send another one of these and you don't really have to sacrifice much. Also run 3 copies of Advanced Ritual Art, really good. This card can be used to ritual summon any ritual monster from your hand, but you must also send, and you can also send normal monsters from your deck or graveyard whose total level equals the level of that ritual monster. So that could be really good. Like, let's say use the Magikey Mafia to send one for the Beta Buster. So then in hand you have this, and you can use this to send a level 4 and this, and then you basically got your Gear Blaster. We also got High Ritual Art. Basically, this is a sort of similar to like Advanced Ritual Art. It allows you to it's another ritual card that we can use. I would say it's as good as Advanced Ritual Art, but it's still pretty helpful. We run 3 Preparation. Now, Preparation, I level 7 lower ritual monster from your deck to your hand. You know, really good. It's a searcher for ritual monsters. The secondary effect may or may not come up. It really only works on the Advanced Ritual Art because Magikey Mafia isn't a ritual spell. It's just a normal spell that has the effect to ritual summon. Also run the one Rhoda, since Sky Blaster's a warrior, and one Call by the Grave because a hand trap can hurt. There's one more spell I run. I run 3 copies of Unexpected Die, which allows you to spell summon a normal monster from your deck. I don't have copies of it because I do not know where my copies went. I know I had some, but for some reason I cannot find them. Moving on to traps, I got Magikey Duo, Magikey Locking, and Magikey Unlocking. So Duo and Locking are the same thing but in reverse. Tribute a normal monster or Magikey monster to target up to 2 normal monsters or Magikey monsters in your graveyard whose total levels equal 8 or less. Special summon those monsters in defense position, then you can immediately apply one of these effects. So for Duo, that is Fusion Summon and Ritual Summon. Locking is Synchro and XYZ Summon. Now unlocking, when your opponent activates the spell trap card while you draw a Magikey Ritual Monster or a Magikey Monster special summoned from the extra deck, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. And if you do destroy that, for the rest of this turn, all face-up monsters your opponent controls become that attribute, which is definitely really good. Because like, let's say, for example, you got light monster on the field and everything becomes, or say you make everything become light, then that puts it under the effect of your boss monsters, which might end up just destroying all of them. Also run 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. I don't think I really need to explain much about Impermanence and just how good it is. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 2 Magikey Beasts, whatever that name is. If this card is Fusion Summon, you can add Mafia from your graveyard to your hand. And once per turn, you target one attack position monster your opponent controls with the same attribute as a normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard. Change it to defense position. If you do, it loses 1,000 defense. Banish any monster destroyed by battle with this card. This card's really cool. You mainly use it for the first effect to grab back the Mafia, since we only run 2 copies of Mafia, because Mafia is searchable off the field spell and can also grab it back off of this card. I run 1 Magikey Dragon. When this card is Fusion Summon, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects, and once per turn, you can target one normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls with that monster's attribute. It's got an additional once per turn. If your opponent's monster with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard is destroyed by a battle or card effect, and if this card is Fusion Summon using 2 different attributes as material, you can draw a card. So it can pop, draw a card. It does a lot. I run 1 Magikey Spirit, the Power 2. This one you more or less summon as sort of like a combo piece, more so than an end board. Basically, if it's XYZ summoned, you attach material from this card, add one level 4 higher normal monster from your deck or graveyard to the hand. It's definitely pretty good. It's got an additional effect that if this card battles opponent monster with the same attribute as a normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard, you attach one material from this card. Your opponent must send that monster to the graveyard. Next, you're one the 1 Ash Tartu. Once per turn, when your normal monster or Magikey monster destroys opponent monster by battle, you detach one material from this card, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. And once per turn, during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, target one monster your opponent controls with the same attribute as a normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard, detach one material from this card, and if you do, banish that monster. So, as you're seeing from what I said before, if the attributes of what your opponent controls align with what you have in the graveyard, you can do a whole lot of different things. Banish, destroy. I run a few generic rank boards like Guska, Dweller, and Zeus because, you know, Zeus is always good. For synchros, we run 2 copies of Magikey Fiend, Transfer Mine, however it's pronounced. Personally, I say Magikey Fiend is your best extra deck monster. So this card can make up to 2 attacks on a monster during each battle phase. And if this card is synchro summoned using at least 2 attributes, you can set 1 Magikey spell trap directly from your deck to spawn trap zone, which is definitely really good. But the last effect is the most important one. If your opponent normal spell summons a monster with the same attribute as the monster in your graveyard, you can destroy that monster. Which, considering you're able to change your opponent's attributes, that allows you to basically destroy anything. Lastly, I run some Link monsters that are just really good at running this deck, like Link Spiders, since we run vanilla monsters. Got the 1 Dark, the 1 IP, the 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and the 1 Access Code Talker. That's it for my Magikey deck. What do you think of Magikey? Do you think they're pretty fun? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.